Your exam is just around the corner, and you've been studying hard, and now you need a way to test your knowledge before the exam. Well, don't worry, we got you covered. Right now, we're going to take a mini 25-question practice exam to test your study skills. If you like these questions, you can get thousands more just like them. We have an online exam prep package that you can buy to get instant access to our database of study resources, like unlimited practice exams, vocabulary flashcards, and an ebook study guide that explains concepts and math formulas you'll need to know for your South Carolina real estate exam. The link for that is in the description and comments below. All right, I know you're ready to take this practice exam, so let's get started. Good luck. The purpose of the South Carolina Real Estate Commission is to A, regulate the real estate industry in order to protect the public's interest in real estate transactions, B, help real estate brokers increase their commissions, C, set the commission rates real estate brokers are allowed to charge, or D, protect private property rights. The correct answer is A, regulate the real estate industry in order to protect the public's interest in real estate transactions. The purpose of South Carolina's Real Estate Commission and most regulatory bodies is to protect the public interest. A salesperson must have how many years of experience to become a broker? A, 1 year, B, 2 years, C, 3 years, or D, 4 years. The correct answer is C, 3 years. A broker applicant must have 3 years experience as a salesperson and must submit proof of the experience. A South Carolina real estate broker must be at least A, 18 years old, B, 21 years old, C, 25 years old, or D, 30 years old. The correct answer is B, 21 years old. A real estate broker must be at least 21 years old. The salesperson requirement is 18 years old. So the best way to remember this, a broker has to be able to drink. Practicing real estate without a license is a or an A, felony, B, infraction, C, misdemeanor, or D, gross misdemeanor. The correct answer is C, a misdemeanor. Under South Carolina law, practicing real estate without the appropriate license is a misdemeanor punishable by a fine or jail or both. Which of the following constitutes substantive contact? A, when a buyer asks why the owner is selling. B, when a buyer asks about the asking price. C, when a customer asks for a licensee's business card. Or D, when a buyer asks if other property is for sale in the same part of town. The correct answer is A, when a buyer asks why the owner is selling. Substantive contact occurs when the conversation turns from casual introductory talk to meaningful conversation that includes, among other things, asking about a party's motives. In a residential transaction, is a listing agent required to disclose that an unseemly death occurred on the property? A, yes, it is a material fact concerning the real estate transaction that must be disclosed. B, yes, it is not covered by the stigmatized property provisions of the license law. C, yes, if the death occurred within the last 3 years. Or D, no, it is covered by the stigmatized property provisions of the license law. The correct answer is D, no, it is covered by the stigmatized property provisions of the license law. The stigmatized property law provides that a real estate licensee is not required to disclose that there was a death on the property. A broker in charge may A. Pay a referral fee to an unlicensed person who is not a party to a transaction. B. Pay a referral fee to an unlicensed person who is a party to a transaction. C. Not pay a referral fee to an associate licensee. Or D. Never pay a referral fee. The correct answer is B. Pay a referral fee to an unlicensed person who is a party to a transaction. Referral fees to an unlicensed person are prohibited unless that person is a party to a transaction. Commingling includes A. Depositing business account trust funds into the licensee's personal account. B. Depositing funds in a business trust account for administrative expenses. C. Depositing closing money in a business trust account. Or D. Establishing a business trust account and personal account at the same financial institution. The correct answer is A. Depositing business account trust funds into the licensee's personal account. Licensees are not allowed to mix personal funds with trust account. The broker, however, may keep sufficient business funds in the trust account to cover administrative expenses such as monthly fees. Which of the following is an example of conversion? A. Depositing trust funds in an interest-bearing account. B. Depositing personal funds into a trust account. C. A licensee with client consent keeping interest earned on a trust account. Or D. Using trust fund accounts to pay for personal expenses. The correct answer is D. Using trust fund accounts to pay for personal expenses. Conversion is using trust funds for a purpose other than the purpose for which they are held. Remember, commingling is mixing funds. Conversion is spending trust funds for personal or business purposes. Trust fund disputes can be resolved by A. The Real Estate Commission. B. Involuntary arbitration. C. Voluntary mediation. Or D. A panel of real estate salespersons. The correct answer is C. Voluntary mediation. Similar to compensation disputes, the Real Estate Commission has no authority to resolve trust fund disputes. Which of the following is a legal team name? A. Team Rose Realty. B. Rose Real Estate Team. C. Team Rose Realty Pros. Or D. Ron Rose Team. The correct answer is D. Ron Rose Team. A team name cannot include the word realty or real estate or other term or phrase which implies that the team is a separate entity from the brokerage firm. An investigation of a licensee's conduct can be initiated by the A. Director of the Department of Occupational Regulation. B. Real Estate Commission. C. Governor. Or D. Lieutenant Governor. The correct answer is B. Real Estate Commission. While the Department of Labor, Licensing and Regulation actually conducts investigations, the Real Estate Commission may initiate them at its discretion. There is no Department of Occupational Regulation. A broker in charge can retain a salesperson as an A. Employee, B. Independent contractor, C. Employee or independent contractor, or D. Supervising real estate salesperson. The correct answer is C. Employee or independent contractor. A broker in charge can retain a salesperson as an employee or as an independent contractor. The most important distinguishing factor is whether the broker in charge has the right to control the manner in which the work is performed, in which case the salesperson would become an employee. Which of the following is not, watch out for that, not required by the Real Estate Commission to be included in a listing agreement? A seller's statement that he will or will not consider dual agency. B, the seller's statement that he will or will not consider designated agency. C, the seller's acknowledgement of receipt of the South Carolina Disclosure of Real Estate Brokerage Relationships form. Or D, the seller's agreement to make certain repairs. The correct answer is D, the seller's agreement to make certain repairs. An obligation to make repairs, if any, is included in the purchase agreement, not in the listing contract. Which of the following is required by the Real Estate Commission to be included in a transaction broker contract? A, customer understands that a transaction broker is not acting as a dual agent. B, customer agrees that a transaction broker is not an advocate for the interest of the customer. C, customer understands that a transaction broker is not acting as a designated agent. Or D, transaction brokerage is only allowed if both parties sign the transaction brokerage consent form. The correct answer is B, customer agrees that a transaction broker is not an advocate for the interests of the customer. In transaction brokerage, the licensee does not advocate for the customer. Alice, a real estate salesperson, has two separate buyers, both of whom want to make an offer on the same house. What is legally required in this situation? A, the broker in charge must designate an agent. B, the broker in charge must establish a dual agency. C, the broker in charge must establish transaction brokerage. Or D, Alice must send a written notice to both buyers that neither will receive confidential information about the other. And the correct answer is D. Alice must send a written notice to both buyers that neither will receive confidential information about the other. The broker in charge cannot unilaterally change agency relationships. The law imposes a duty upon Alice to send a written notice to the buyers that she will not disclose confidential information. And another rule of thumb, if you see having to provide written notice, it's probably the right answer. South Carolina does not allow A, undisclosed dual agency, B, transaction brokerage, C, designated agency, or D, single agency. The correct answer is A, undisclosed dual agency. Dual agency is allowed in South Carolina, but only with the informed written consent of both parties. The parties to a listing agreement in South Carolina are the A, seller and the salesperson, B, seller, salesperson, and the broker in charge, C, seller and the broker in charge, or D, seller, commission, and the salesperson designated to represent the seller. The correct answer is C, seller and the broker in charge. In South Carolina, the parties to a listing agreement are the seller and broker in charge. A salesperson acts as a sub-agent on behalf of the broker in charge. Which of the following would be found in a listing contract but not a buyer representation contract? A, broker compensation to other agents. B, broker duties. C, mediation clause. Or D, client duties. The correct answer is A, broker compensation to other agents. Broker compensation to other agents is not relevant to the purchase of property, but it is relevant to the sale of property. Salesperson Sally is an associated licensee at the Lakeside office of We Sell 'em Fast Realty. Salesperson Bob from the Mountain View office of We Sell 'em Fast Realty represents a buyer who wants to make an offer on one of Sally's listings. Each office has a different broker in charge. The seller and the buyer both want client-level services. What kind of agency relationship can be used to accomplish this? A, without a transaction brokerage, it cannot be done. B, the broker in charge can designate Sally to represent the seller exclusively and Bob to represent the buyer exclusively. C, with different brokers in charge, a single agency relationship can be established with each party. Or D, a dual agency is required. The correct answer is C. With different brokers in charge, a single agency relationship can be established with each party. Because there are two instead of only one broker in charge, a single agency can be established with each party. Interest earned on an earnest money deposit belongs to A, the buyer, B, the seller, C, the broker in charge, or D, South Carolina General Fund. The correct answer is A, the buyer. Interest on an earnest money deposit belongs to the buyer. A mortgage log includes A running balance of the amount owed on a loan, B, statutorily required information about a mortgage loan and borrower, such as the borrower's credit score, the term of the loan, and APR, C, a record of payments made, or D, an accounting of any fees charged to the loan. The correct answer to a mortgage log is B, statutorily required information about a mortgage loan and borrower, such as the borrower's credit score, the term of the loan, and APR. Licensed mortgage lenders are required to have a mortgage log that includes the credit score of the borrower, type of loan, term of the loan, APR, and appraised value of the collateral. A primary residence in South Carolina is taxed at what percentage of its fair market value? A, 2.5%, B, 4%, C, 6%, or D, 10%. The correct answer is 4%, B. A primary residence is taxed at 4% of its fair market value. Residential property not occupied by the owner is taxed at 6% of its fair market value. One purpose of the South Carolina Residential Landlord and Tenant Act is to A, ensure that commercial tenants have the same legal protections as residential tenants. B, ensure that commercial landlords have the same legal protections as residential landlords. C, encourage landlords and tenants to maintain and improve the quality of housing in South Carolina. Or D, ensure that there is sufficient supply to meet the demand for residential rental property. The correct answer is C, encourage landlords and tenants to maintain and improve the quality of housing in South Carolina. A stated purpose of the South Carolina Landlord and Tenant Act is to encourage landlords and tenants to maintain and improve the quality of housing in South Carolina. The act is only applicable to residential property. The maximum interest rate allowable on consumer credit debt in South Carolina is A, 8.75%, B, 11%, C, 12.75%, or D, 6%. The correct answer is A, 8.75%. The maximum allowable interest rate on consumer credit debt is 8.75%. The maximum allowable for a consumer loan can vary depending on movement of the index. So, how'd you do? Let me know how many questions you got right in the comments below. Remember, you can get more practice exams in our exam prep package. The link for that is in the comments and description below. If you want another free practice exam video just like this one, then you'll really like this one here. All right, everyone, that's all for today. I'll see you next time.